Our studios are taking their crazy ambitious ideas and making them real. Criterion is known for how their games feel. From superior physics to nuanced details of gameplay, this team hand curates the moment-to-moment experience. And with the new consoles this year, there will be a seamless immersion which will get you into the race in a matter of seconds.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy GwoppyTrai, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, I'm actually bringing you guys another Need for Speed video for you guys today, because we've actually received some news regarding Need for Speed 2021, and I feel like that it's important for all of us to talk about here on the channel. Now, first things first, this is coming directly off of my Need for Speed Heat rant video that I made 2 weeks ago about how EA killed off the game. So if it may seem like I'm being a little bit biased towards Criterion Games and biased towards EA games right now because they killed off probably my favorite Need for Speed Heat game in the past decade, just please excuse my rudeness and please excuse like me being rude towards them and me ranting a little bit, but I really need to get my point across in this video because I feel like that now is the perfect opportune time to give my official opinions about Need for Speed 2021 and Criterion Games. Now, if you guys haven't been keeping up with Need for Speed news or EA Games news, basically 2 weeks ago at the EA Play Live event, they basically revealed a small little teaser. It wasn't really a trailer, but it was a teaser for Need for Speed 2021 and what Criterion Games is currently working on for Need for Speed 2021 on the new gen consoles. And I pray to God that it better be on the current gen consoles too, because I don't have $500 lying around, because most of it is going towards a fursuit, but I'm gonna explain that in another video at another time. Now, in this small teaser trailer, they showed off two cars, one being a Porsche 911 Carrera GT3 RS and the other being a customized Nissan 240SX. Now, I'm not gonna lie, both of these actually look very, very good, and they actually designed these cars very good as well. But that's not really the problem that I have. The cars look beautiful in and of itself, but the problem that I have is that at this event, all they did was just show off 20 seconds of Need for Speed news and showed off the graphics and showed how beautiful the game is currently right now. But of course, everybody knows, since you were born since 2001 and you've seen the controversy that Watch Dogs actually had in 2014 or 2013, you know that this is all beta gameplay and this is what the game is going to look like before they actually polish it off and release it. Now, like I said, both the cars look good. The graphics do look good. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, I don't care about graphics if the game is gonna be killed off within 7 months like Need for Speed Heat did. And one of the main reasons why I decided to make this video today was because I'm seeing everywhere on Twitter, on Instagram, on my YouTube comments, on other YouTube comments, and basically having YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos from other people saying how excited they are for Need for Speed 2021, and like they all of a sudden forgot that they just killed off Need for Speed Heat. And this may turn into a little bit of a rant, so stick with me. I've been a fan of Need for Speed all my life. I originally started off with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 on the Game Boy Advance, and then also started off with Need for Speed Underground on the Game Boy Advance, not even on the consoles. So needless to say, I've been there since the jump. I've been there since Need for Speed was in its heyday. And then my first console Need for Speed game that I actually purchased was Need for Speed Carbon on the PlayStation 3, and then actually played Need for Speed Most Wanted like 2 years after I beat Need for Speed Carbon. And then after that, I've just simply been hooked on Need for Speed games because I've always enjoyed Need for Speed for how much content they actually put in and how much work they actually put in back when it was in its heyday. And because of that, I actually purchased Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2 on a PlayStation 2 console, so I can actually experience what I missed out on when I actually wasn't playing it on the consoles when everybody else was. And now my favorite Need for Speed games of this decade has to be Need for Speed The Run, Need for Speed 2015, and Need for Speed Heat. These three games were by far my favorite games out of this past decade, coming from EA Games and the developers that made these games. Those were my favorite three games of this past decade. And when I've actually heard the news that they actually killed off Need for Speed Heat in the first 7 months of the game in its life cycle, because they want to focus on Need for Speed 2021, because they wanted to all of a sudden switch developers directly after, not even like 3 months after Need for Speed Heat came out. So yes, I may be a little bit bit pissed off about this. But the fact that you have people here that's getting excited over Need for Speed 2021. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be excited. I love Need for Speed as much as the next person, and I'm not trying to sound pessimistic here, but the fact that we don't have any more content to play on Need for Speed Heat, and they basically abandoned this game, they purposely abandoned this game so they can focus on Need for Speed 2021 and let Criterion Games take over, that's probably what I'm most upset about right now at this juncture in time. Now, maybe I may be wrong here, maybe I might be judging Criterion Games a little bit harshly, but the simple fact of the matter is, when I hear of Criterion Games, I hear about the developers that made the Burnout games, not Need for Speed games. The last time they made a Need for Speed game, it was the worst game in the history of Need for Speed. Need for Speed 2012, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 was fucking garbage. I'm just gonna say it right here, right now. That game was terrible. That game was a Most Wanted ripoff, a Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 ripoff, and that's all it will ever be. It will never be a true Need for Speed game. It was more of a Burnout game rather than a Need for Speed game. And now that I hear that Criterion is actually taking over development for Need for Speed 2021, now I'm not gonna lie, in this gameplay we do have a customized Nissan 240SX. I understand that car looks beautiful. I love JDM cars, and the fact that we may get customization in this game gives me a little bit of hope. But the simple fact of the matter is that all the Ghost developers were simply moved over to Criterion because the Criterion has no idea about customization in their games because they made Burnout games, and all you could basically do in the Burnout games was change the paint color and change how what cars you actually go with. So they don't have any real experience with customization and how real car mechanics in Need for Speed is supposed to be like. So that's why they actually moved over the people from Ghost Games to Criterion Games so they can help out with the development. Like, look, okay, I'm sorry that I feel so upset right now. I'm sorry if I'm actually upset about Need for Speed 2021 and how they killed off Need for Speed Heat. I'm sorry, okay? But the simple fact of the matter is that they screwed us Need for Speed players over, and the simple fact of the matter is that the community is getting excited over Need for Speed 2021 when Need for Speed Heat isn't even in 1 year of its cycle? Are you serious? It's like everybody got Alzheimer's or something and they all of a sudden forgot that they actually killed off Need for Speed Heat and actually stopped supporting it on the current gen consoles. And I'm just letting you know right now, dude, EA Games and Need for Speed, they need to do something better to actually promote post-launch support and multiplayer support for Need for Speed and next gen Need for Speed games. Because it is extremely evident at this point that Need for Speed cannot strive and survive off of single player support for 6 months into its cycle and then having an update every 3 months or every 4 months with small content updates. It's very evident at this point that they cannot survive off of that kind of support. We need post-launch support. We need seasons. We need more car pack updates. We need more story expansion. We need more types of races in actual multiplayer events. We need more speed lists. We need more events that's actually gonna make the game survive and actually make the game alive for the next 2 years when the next game is about to be developed and about to be released. Because at this juncture in time of all junctures, we actually have 2 years in between Need for Speed games now. We have 2 years in between Need for Speed games. Now, if you think that we can survive off the current state of Need for Speed and only having small content updates and having very tiny little updates every 3 or 4 months, you must really be smoking that dope. Alright, before I wrap this video up, I'm just gonna say this and I'm just gonna wrap this video up. Now look, I know I'm gonna be excited for Need for Speed 2021. I understand that I'm gonna be excited for it. But at this juncture of all junctures, they need to do something better to promote post-launch support and multiplayer support for new gen Need for Speed games. They need to do something better for post-launch support and add some type of seasons or add more car updates to the game. And more importantly, update the car roster because my god, we had the 2014 Challenger, the 2014 SRT8 Challenger for almost a decade now, bruh. Like, it's about time that we need to upgrade to a Dodge Demon or a Dodge Hellcat or even add the Dodge Charger Hellcat. It's ridiculous at this point. But until I actually see more gameplay and we actually receive more news about Need for Speed 2021 and what they're actually going to bring to the table with Criterion Games and what they're actually going to improve off of after the disaster that Need for Speed 2012 was, bruh, at this point in time, I'm not looking forward to Need for Speed until they actually give me something to be excited for, because at this juncture, they don't promise anything. They really don't. We're just gonna have to wait and see, because at this point in time, the Crew 2 is really dominating Need for Speed at this point in time. And I'm simply waiting on a Midnight Club game to absolutely destroy Need for Speed, if it's ever gonna happen. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for Need for Speed 2021? Are you guys actually like me and actually want some type of news about Need for Speed 2021, about how the game is actually gonna perform before you can actually give your opinion off of it? Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And with that being said, this is your boy Gwop. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new. And I'm out, bruh.